So the first inning XP reward path is coming to a close tomorrow as I'm recording and posting this video. So that means we're going to get an entire new XP reward path of players. We're going to get 3 new bosses. We're going to get a new henchman instead of the Jake Arrieta. We're going to get new cornerstone players, which they've already revealed. But, I like to do a lot of predictions and I like to do a lot of custom cards and creating attributes. So today I'm going to be doing my second inning XP path predictions. So let's get into it. I just wanted to go through my thought process of picking boss cards before I go into the slideshow that I have. Basically, I wanted to pick players who were big names. So people, these are players that people want to be using. These are players that are legends in the game. These are players that are going to be in teams. That's the point of the inning programs. These are the most accessible high tier cards. So it should be players that people are going to want to have. I also picked players that don't currently have any good cards in the game, really, I would say. Maybe I think the highest is a gold on any of these guys. So that's another thing too, is players who don't have diamonds yet. That factored into it as well. And I just, I just wanted to think of cards that I personally would be excited to use. So let's get into it. One last thing before we actually get into the boss predictions. There were 2 reveals today on Twitter. First, they revealed the Cornerstone Evolution players. They didn't reveal the diamonds, but they revealed the gold, so we know who the diamonds are going to be. That being Tony Clark, JD Martinez, and Bruce Sutter. All 3 of these look like really good cards, like possible diamond cards, and all these cards are going to be grindable in the game. Just going one by one. Tony Clark, switch hitting first baseman, all around pretty balanced hitter. He'll be a pretty good card. JD Martinez always destroys the baseball. He's going to have really high offensive attributes, but pretty low defensive attributes, so probably more of a DH card. And then Bruce Sutter, he isn't necessarily amazing in MLB The Show, but having diamond relievers, as an option is always a good thing because of how scarce they are in Diamond Dynasty. And then lastly, we also have the Ozzie Smith, the 89, that is going to be the henchman, basically the Jake Arrieta of this program. They said this is the most juiced Ozzie Smith in MLB The Show history. Or not in history, they've probably had 99s, so maybe not. But they said it was juiced. I don't believe them. Ozzie Smith cards are always terrible in this game. It's strictly because he just cannot hit. He was I think his career OPS plus was below 100, which means he was a below average hitter his whole career. Was still unbelievable defensively and running the bases too. Not trying to discredit his career, but it just doesn't make him a good card when he can't hit. So before we get into the bosses real quick, I just want to say that my apologies for these being kind of blurry. Basically, when I created these cards on ShowZone, which is a great website, by the way, and I made videos on in the past, for some reason the download button wasn't working, so I had to screenshot it and crop it, which just makes it more blurry. So that's why these aren't the highest quality, but regardless, let's get into the bosses. So the first boss that I have is this 90 overall. Yes, I do think they're all going to be 90 overalls, considering the henchman was an 89. Maybe a 91, considering Arrieta was an 87. Or wait, no, Arrieta was an 87, and the bosses are 88, so probably a 90. But regardless, looking at this Roberto Clemente, a 1971 postseason card. They won the World Series this year. He was really good. I mean, he was really good in his entire career, but overall, just looking at this card, 100, 111 contact, not the best power with 48, 70 power. Good vision at 90, 103 clutch, 36 discipline, not the best punter, but who cares? Defensively, he's always going to be elite. Roberto Clemente is one of the greatest defenders of all time. He's arguably has the greatest arm of all time. Not going to have amazing speed because this is near the end of his career and his life, tragically. But Roberto Clemente, this card on paper would probably be everyone's last pick. I don't think many people would be picking him unless you're a Pirates fan after you guys see the next 2 bosses that I have. But regardless, Roberto Clemente is a fan favorite. He's a player that everybody loves. He has a good swing, good contact, clutch, vision, defense. You get a lot out of this card, even though his power isn't really that good. I would be fine with him being a boss as long as this wouldn't be the best boss. The second boss that I'm going to predict is 90 overall Chipper Jones. Now, when I was trying to find legends that either only have like a silver or a gold, or don't even have a card in the game yet but are in MLB The Show 25, I was shocked to realize Chipper does not have a card yet. And no, he was not removed. He's in the Legends roster. So, Chipper Jones, I mean, this is a prime opportunity for him to get a diamond card. He's a card that I love to use. His MLB The Show 21 collection reward card was amazing. The 99 from the set 1 collection in MLB The Show 23 was amazing. His cards are always really good, even if it's not the 99 endgame card. On paper, this card would be pretty good. You know, switch hitter. Switch hitter is always very valuable. He did only play third base this year, and since they're much stricter with secondary positions, I don't think they would give him any secondaries. But at third base, he would be pretty solid with silver defense. His speed would also be a little lower than other cards, strictly because he's much older in this card, age 36. But offensively, I mean, this card would be great. 107, 125 contact, not many 125s in the game right now. 82, 71 power. So the power versus readies would meet the 80 threshold. If you don't know what that is, basically, at least SDS claims that if you have 80 power on a card and you get a perfect, it should be a guaranteed hit. That's what they said, I'm pretty sure. But regardless, you know, being in the 80s for 1 power and 71 power left, still not awful power left, but, you know, could be a little better. But that also cancels out with the 125 contacts. You're going to be getting a lot of hits, regardless of the power number. You know, okay vision, the discipline. Chipper Jones always has great discipline on his card. You're going to get a lot of check swings with him, 110. And then the clutch being at 94 does hurt this card a little, strictly because of the contact numbers being so high. But it's 94, so it doesn't kill him. And defensively, okay, like a switch hitter, third baseman, Chipper Jones. Everybody loves Chipper Jones cards. I think this card would be a great boss. But I don't think it would be the best in this choice pack if we move on to the next boss. Because lastly, we have Randy Johnson. Yeah, I think Randy Johnson deserves a diamond. The only Randy Johnson card in the game currently is a contributor silver from the Mariners in the Team Affinity. He was their silver Team Affinity card. He's a 79 overall. He deserves a diamond in the game. He's going to get it eventually, of course, but, you know, it would be nice to get like a lower tier diamond before we get his 99 later on in the year. But regardless, this card I created from his age 40 season. He was still really good at age 40. That's the crazy part about Randy Johnson, is how long he pitched. But regardless, his age 40 season in 2004, he was 40 years old. I just said that 3 times. I'm stupid. But, you know, looking at this card, looking at the pitch mix, 4-seam slider, splitter, slurve, 2-seam, has a great pitch mix. Would have loved for that 2-seam to be a sinker, but all of his cards have had 2 seams instead of sinkers, so I can't just throw a sinker on there. Obviously throws super hard. He's going to have outlier in the 4-seam for sure. The control is always a little iffy with Randy Johnson, but good enough. The break is always pretty good. Obviously in Showzone you can't really control or you can't change the control and the break of each pitch and show it on their card builder page. That's what I've been using. But this Randy Johnson would be in everyone's rotation, because Randy Johnson cards are always amazing in this game. He'd throw really hard. He'd have a great pitch mix. He would have good stats. You know, 93 stamina, 90 hits per 9 is a little low, but it's fine. 100 Ks per 9, very good. 99 pitching clutch, very good. Would help the hits per 9, which is already good. Great velo. The only thing is the control, I would say, but this card would be a phenomenal boss. This would be a fan favorite too. Every time a Randy Johnson card comes out, everybody wants to get it. Everybody knows how good he is in this game. Everybody would be excited for Randy Johnson to be a boss in the second inning XP path. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys are new here, follow me on all my social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. But most importantly, make sure you subscribe on here on YouTube. So yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace.